Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
And, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Inside Scoop proudly brings to you its two-time
Oh, man.
Inside Scoop fantasy football champion of the world, the Sushi Man, Jeff Doss.
That was well played. That was good.
Hey,
All right.
you know,
So, yeah, this is the 2 times we've had the league so far, and both times
I
you're the
won.
champ. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty dang good. You
Here's
know
the
what? I
backbone.
still can't believe. You know what? We're not really going to talk about this much, but as long as we're talking about it, let's just be honest. I honestly felt like my team had the best roster, and I had the most ungodly luck. I went like 0-6 to start the league, and I think
Yeah.
I finished 8-6. Like, how is this possible?
You got in the playoffs. You lost by like what?
I got in the playoffs. Couldn't believe it. Like, my first, because the playoffs are in fantasy football. Playoffs are 2 weeks per round.
In the one we do, yeah.
So I'm going against Jackson Rudolph, and I, who are matched up against each other, and he was beating me by like 70 some points in the first week, and I'm like, I got no shot. I've got to beat you by 80, maybe. I've got to beat you by 70 points to tie. Like, this is impossible.
Right.
I was like 2 points away from winning, or 3 points away. This is not real life. This is not.
Yeah.
But it was mapping out so well that I'm like, I feel like I should win. I feel like I should just get the honorary W. Come on, guys, give it to me. But I didn't.
All of them are really tight, and
pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I beat Troy again for the second year in a row in the first round.
Yeah, so you beat Troy Sexton in the first round,
and then I beat
Jackson beat me
by like 1.5 points, or like 1.4 points.
That was a tight one. Yeah, I'm really not watching. Honestly, I'm really not watching that much football.
Me neither.
I'm paying attention to the Vikings. Once it start getting interesting, and Kurt Thuggins starts doing his deal, and Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver on the planet, right? In the world, right? It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Hey, didn't hurt at all that I had him on my team.
But no. See, I had him on the team that I lost to you on the other league. So
yeah, we have another league that we're in.
The Chicago Fighting League or whatever.
Yep, and I won, and you took
second year in a row.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So it's a fun time. And again, guys, we'll let you know when we're going to go ahead and set up our fantasy football league for next year. We may even do 2 leagues.
Yeah, some people have been asking about, hey man, you got a spot. If you guys do want to do that when time comes around, when the summertime comes around, just shoot me a message. You just shoot me a message now. I'm probably going to set the roster. I'm going to set like the leagues now,
That's right.
So go ahead, just tell me if you guys want in. Shoot me a message. I'm easy to find.
All right, guys. So first up, before we get into our episode, we're going to talk about the 30 years and up competitors.
Yep.
The veteran competitors. And this is a show that we've been talking about wanting to do for a while. We talk about it, but it's going to be a lot of fun and really just highlight those. And so we're going to let you guys, so I hope everyone is sharing and talking about that and ready to share who your favorites are and who you want to, give a shout out to. But before we do that, we have the VFT grudge match coming up February 4th, the return of Thomas Wright versus Trey Lazenby. My bad. That would have been crazy too. You know why I thought of that? Because I was watching a fight of Thomas and Trevor was right behind them as they were team fighting together. So anyway, Trey Lazenby versus Thomas Wright. It's going to be a great fight. They do not like each other. If you saw the latest video that Jesse posted last week, that was hilarious.
That's pretty good.
The 3 or 5 reasons why they thought they would win. Man, it's just fueling up. What's up, Thomas?
Yeah, if you guys haven't looked at it, just go to the Virtual Fight Tour page. Jesse's done an amazing job with the Virtual Fight Tour. Everybody should be on it. This is something that everybody should really just be. You guys should be sharing with everyone.
Correct.
I think.
Hey, Marshall, how you doing, sir?
And I think people were doing this when the Virtual Fight Tour first started, when there was nothing else to look at.
Safe, man.
and there was nothing else going on,
Yeah.
why not just do this? Just have a group of people in the dojo, in the karate school, just put up the VFT. The only reason why I would say, maybe don't do that is because then not everybody is,
Yeah.
paying their dues. And you really should. I've been on the mindset of, listen, I'm in. It doesn't matter if it's VFT 145.
Right.
Just charge my card. I'm in. Just charge it. Charge it to the game.
One thing too, maybe they could do with that, and I don't know if they could find a way to do it and still make it count so they know how many they do, but they have a way for you to donate, right? Well, you could donate however many people, that are there, and everybody does that, and that way it's really
there's an easy way. So then if karate school owner X, it's like, hey guys, come on over. I got everybody here, but it's $20 in, and everybody knows why, right? $20, and all of this is going right to VFT, right? And listen, $20 would be a discount, guys, right? But that would be a super cool thing. Imagine that doing
that.
Get
trouble, so you might need to be quiet. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. But wouldn't it be cool though? Just having like a that would be cool. That's where that'd be way dope. Yeah, I probably should shut up.
That's where I think it will go, and I think Jesse's looking into that. So always,
he always is. He's always got something.
Was there anything else we needed to add, clarify? I know that he has the lineup all set, and also, guys, this year too. You're at the beginning of this. When you do this, you're going to get the documentary. So that's going to be awesome. Okay. It's going to be a documentary about VFT, what we've been talking about, how it started, all the ups and downs and all the awesome things and the things that is done and it's changed. Talking about the virtual forms tour that he did as well. So lots of stuff on that. So yeah. So I'm excited to see what parts of it that I'm there, because we tried several times to do it, and he kept saying it wasn't working. And they said, all right, well, let's see when your internet works better one day. And then he was like, actually, all of it worked well. So we could have kept going.
Oh.
He just thought it wasn't recording well. But should be a good time. So check it out. February 4th, grudge match. Lots of great fights. We'll be talking about that more next week and the week after. So, all right.
Be great.
So, the 30 and up competitors, man, there's so much competition in this realm, in some divisions. I feel like, especially at the high level, that top 4 level, it's just as competitive as the 18 plus, and in many ways it's harder, especially when you get into the grand championship level. I think it is, because it could kind of go anywhere. And especially with forms, it really depends on the judges, what they like, what their taste is. So it's really going to be interesting. 30 is the new 18, Andrew says. Yep.
Andrew's right on.
Yeah. So it's a great time to be added into it. There's going to be a lot of new competitors coming up. We're going to kind of go through the fighters, the forms, the weapons, talk about the males, the females. I have a bunch of people, a list of different people, but I want you guys, when we list these, shout out who are some that you like, what you like about them, all that stuff. Let's just really show people some love, because a lot of times that's one of the things that we feel like the senior competitors, the 30 up, don't get the love that they deserve, right? With the prize money, obviously, right? Always an issue on if we can do one division, 30 up, 40 and up, 18 plus. There's always someone protesting that once you get over 30, sorry, we're going to protest you somehow, right? And that's what it feels like. And it gets annoying. It's like, hey, listen, I want to compete. Let me compete.
Once you get over 30 and you're successful,
right? Correct.
And that's the weird thing. It's almost like they create these divisions and they create these opportunities where it feels like, oh, this is really inviting. You want me to be a part of this. This is great.
Yeah.
But don't actually be good. Don't actually win anything. We just want your enthusiasm and your donation. Don't actually win anything. Let's just save that for the 19-year-old.
Right.
You're going to be retired at 22.
Right. So one thing that's good about this upcoming tournament is that the senior competitor does get a spot into the AKAs, into the Warrior Cup. One thing though that, for us senior competitors that are 30, 40, 50, expect for a lot of runoffs, right? So upcoming, it's going to be, it's going to be a long time. If you win your division, either Friday or Saturday, say you win weapons and forms and fighting. So you're looking at 3 different, grand championships that you do during the day. Then you also have to do a runoff, against the winner of the women's 30 plus, because they only take one. And then the same thing in the forms or weapons. And then for fighting, you got to beat everybody. You got all the 30 up. I don't know if they put the 40 up if you have to go against them. I'm not sure, but it's a very
You know what's funny
it's a
about
challenge.
it? It is absolutely that. It's a challenge. So what's funny about that is for both the fighting and the forms, Andrew's right. Yeah, they're inviting until you start winning. But for both the fighting and the forms, when it comes to a grand championship, in some ways, I like it a lot more because you and I have been talking about this. Is your championship really all that grand? Right? If it's so like specialized, like you're a grand champion, you're a grand champion, everybody's a grand, your grand championship is in the mail. Like, come on now. But for the seniors, it is pretty true. There's not 5 of them. There isn't, right? So for that part, you go, okay, kind of like it. But then at the same tournament, 2 rings over, why are they separating CMX and traditional? You're not doing that for the senior.
Right.
Why are you separating all of these other ones for 18 plus, but you're not doing that for the seniors, and you're not giving an explanation for the seniors, and the seniors aren't really complaining about it. So who are the ones that were complaining about it? It seems as if the people who are complaining about it are the people going into those divisions as adults who are kids. But are they the ones complaining? Or possibly, is it the parents who are complaining? So who's running this ship again? So the real adults, they tell you what it is. They're the seniors. They're the 30 plus, right?
Right.
They're the real adults in this whole equation, right? They're the ones at the adult table, when it comes time for dinner, right? Listen to them, and listen. We don't seem to mind.
No, and really, a lot of us are in our athletic prime. Really, when you really think about it, we're at our athletic prime when we're there. So then, when you're limiting people and tell them, "Sorry, you're not allowed to be on stage anymore. You're not allowed to go after the bigger, the more." Yeah. So, there's a lot of
people not out there winning. Of course, he is.
Right. Exactly. So,
but here's another thing.
Parents are the ones complaining. Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Right. Here's another funny thing. You know what? So you said it, and I wanted to touch on this for a moment, and then we should start talking names about who we want to really bring this up. So because we're focusing pretty specifically on people our age,
right?
It's really what it is. We're talking about our friends, right?
Yeah,
right. We're talking about people 30 and over. Okay, that's what we're talking about, right? But you mentioned that really that's when you kind of start getting into your physical prime. There are certain physical attributes and things that, like, all right, when you were 24, you can't do when you're 36, 37, right? It's just true. So yeah, like I could cover ground like twice as much when I was 22. Oh my gosh. Right? I could hold a candlestick to that guy's stuff. Right. But when I was about 33, 34, 35, that was probably my physical best.
Yeah.
So I remember having this conversation with Gregorio DeLeo. I was at Irish Open, and I'm like, homie, weren't you just fighting last year? How come you're not out here fighting? He's like, oh no, man, I'm retired. I'm like, retired? Matt, how old are you? And he goes, oh, I'm 30. And I'm like, big freaking deal.
Yeah.
Right? Ray's out here fighting. He's older than both of us. Right? And he's like, oh no, you can't really do much after 30. I'm like, homie,
That's crazy.
I promise you he's in the final fight.
Yep.
Right? So then I thought about that. If Ray would have stopped, we're just using his name, right?
Yeah.
Because there's many about Jason Borelli. El Jabba Abdul Qadir. Shout out to El Jabba, who was on last week. Wasn't that a freaking fun episode? If you guys didn't listen to that episode, go check that one out. That was super awesome. Right. So look at that. All right. If Ray would have like said, I'm done, by the time I hit 30, 2009 would have been his last year.
Correct.
2009.
That's
his
insane.
last time point fighting before he came back for that cameo appearance at the Irish Open in 2020 was 2017.
Right. Wow.
Right. So look at 2009 to 2017. That's like a Hall of Fame career of fighting.
Correct.
In that time.
It's insane, man.
Isn't that wild?
It is wild. It's wild to think about, and especially when you look at forms competitors. Imagine if some of these people would have stuck with it. Imagine if Carmichael Simon would have stuck into his 30s, right?
Right.
Imagine if some of those guys would have, listen, Daryl Lewis at 30 was doing double backflips, okay, at 30 years old. So don't tell me that, the extreme stuff has to stop when you're at a certain age, so.
Well, he's someone I wanted to talk about. Do you want to talk about him later, or can we do it now?
We'll talk about when we get to weapons and forms. Yeah.
All
so
right
now we're going to start with fighting. All right. Because the fightings are stacked. They're males, females. Here's one who's brand new to it. And they're going to be starting, I don't know, AKA in their first tournament as 30 plus, but I know at Starcade there will be. And that's Ryan George. Ryan George is in the 30 plus division now.
Stop.
Yes. So this is going to be exciting. We have Ryan George. We have Brayon, who last year in the middle of the year started doing and had a great, end of the year.
Rodriguez?
Brayon Rodriguez won the Diamonds, remember, in 30 plus.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's been there.
But he wasn't ever doing both, remember?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So he's been that, but he's just started fighting in it as well. So we have Ryan, we have Brayon. Of course, Yaskar, man, this guy is just consistent in 30s and 40s. Yep. Obeda is someone who is always someone to look out for. Last year, he won the Grand and made it into the AKA Warrior Cup top final. El Java is another one. He won the Battle of Atlanta. Anthony Merrick's moved up last year and, won his divisions many times. Jermad Wiggins is always a threat.
Dude looks, moves like he's 26. His flag is not
Andrew named a good one. Ramon from Puerto Rico. Yeah. Amazing competitor.
Ramon and Juan Ramon.
Yeah, that's who he's talking about. Is Juan Ramon is who he means, I think. Then you have the other Ramon. Yeah.
Just two of them. Just
another one that I want
over 30 and good.
Yeah. Another one I want to talk about though too is hopefully we see him fight this year. Last year he had an injury. And that's Terry Floyd. Terry Floyd is another great competitor that I love to see back fighting as well. Yeah, Ramon Fernandez. Yep. Who are some other ones, guys? So those are mostly those 30s and 40s. Who are some of the ones that maybe we're forgetting about in the 50s and 60s? Because again, we don't always get to see all of them. There's Legend has a whole stack of competitors that win their division. I don't know a lot of all their names. So if Tony's watching, if somebody's
good
watching,
what I like about the 40s and older is
he'll be back this year. He's definitely gonna be one.
People think all right, you're in your
Julio.
If you haven't really done a lot of competition, let's say you started martial arts when you were 32, right? You got your kids in karate, you got your kids in taekwondo. You start, all right, a year later, you're let me see if I can do this thing. And then you start taking it and you're well, guess what? Stuff's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Now you're a black belt.
Right.
Maybe you're 35 now. Maybe you're 36. Okay. You're let me try this thing. So you do a couple competitions and after a couple years, you're actually kind of good. You're
Yeah.
really good, right? Now you're like 40. And so you think, well, this is fun. You go to a national tournament, you're just starting this thing, you're good, you go for it. But the problem is with that is you can run into guys like you, right? Or
Forever.
you
Yeah.
could run into El Java Abdul Qadir,
Right.
who has been doing this thing pretty much for the duration of your life, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So then you look at that and go, okay, but that's what's so fascinating is you can take like a legend in the game and they can go out. They could go out in the first or second round
Yeah.
because
Oh.
there's just something about
Yeah.
guys who don't know they're supposed to be intimidated, right?
Sure.
I
Sure.
watched Nasty Anderson fight in the 40 to 49 division.
Yeah, man. Excited for Doug.
What did I just miss here?
I'm just reading some of Drew's comments. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get to it.
And I watched Nasty Anderson fight in the 40 to 49 division. Then there was a guy from National Karate. He was exactly like I just explained, right? He was probably like 44 years old. And he went out there. He was pretty quick guy. He was a pretty good athlete, right? But he was a rookie black belt. He was like he got his black belt like within like months. He was like, all right, let's go try this Bluegrass Nationals thing. Not making this up. So he goes out there. He doesn't know that this is and it's supposed to be a guy because he's introduced as Steve Anderson.
Right.
He doesn't understand that this is supposed to be. It's one of those scenarios where I walk in, like I just kind of am walking by and I see, oh crap, what in the world is going to happen with you? And he was like 3-1, and he's out there and he's attacking him, and you lose a fight and you're fighting Nasty,
Right.
And he started to get pissed off because Nasty was doing nasty things, and this guy's name was Wally. Wally was actually scoring. It can get annoying when you know you're better, when you know you're the seasoned vet, and you should be able to throw a decent fake at somebody, and they should jump back at it, and they just don't.
Right.
They just come hit you instead, right? So this was value in not even being aware that this person is a freaking living, walking legend. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And you're like, what in the heck? So, but even with that being said, I think some of the guys coming up, that are 30, that are just approaching 30, I think that's going to be an exciting time because right now, the 18 plus division, it's young. It's really young, you know, outside of Avery Plowden is probably the most senior of the ones who is not qualifying to be 30, right?
Right.
So, and he's been in there for quite a while.
Right.
So,
I mean, you talk about even Jack is 30. He's never fought in 30. You know what I mean?
Right. So let's just say the guys who can't go 30, like Avery has to be there. You know what I mean? But like we talk about Jack, Brian, the list goes on, right?
Robbie
Lavoie, right? Yep. Why would he entertain that? Right? Because I still think Robbie Lavoie could be the fastest, blitz on the planet.
Until now, when you're allowed to do both, but now they're saying, no, you're not. So who knows? It's just like, why even worry about it? Right.
Right.
But anyways, let's add some other ones as we're talking about. Hakeem Walker, someone who always can show up and kill it. Yeah.
Great. He fought this year too.
Yeah, he did. And I'm not going to say his age. He's going to get mad if I say his age, but he's close. All right. Kyle Floyd is a great fighter as well. Would love to see Kyle at more events, more national events. Okay, awesome. So Robbie did both at Toronto. He did 18 and 30. Sweet. Good to see. Good to hear that.
Dipped his toe in.
Yeah.
Dipping his toe. Let's see what this is like.
Before we go into the female fighters, who is who's maybe your favorite one that you're excited to see this year that you think is going to have a breakout season?
From the female or the men?
The men. I said before we get into the female,
okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Well, this person is the ultimate wild card. You never know. Never know what's going to happen, and you never know if they're going to be there. I'll say Jason Borrelli. There's no
Okay.
reason for me to say like, oh yeah, Jason Borrelli. There's no reason for me to think he's going to be there. But
Yeah.
I think I'm about as big as a Jason Borrelli fan as there can be.
You
And you
are.
know what? If you think about it, I probably shouldn't be from our competitive streaks that we've had with one another, right?
Right.
I've had more
Yeah.
blowout. I've had more overtime losses by this guy. My last real time fighting went into like quintuple overtime that ended with a sidekick that went through my ribs. But whatever. This guy, if you look at him, like he's like Brett Favre. He'll throw
Right.
He'll throw
Right.
6 interceptions in a game, and the next one he'll throw 9 touchdowns. And you're like, how is this the same person? Exactly.
Correct.
Jason Borrelli decides who he is. Right.
True.
Watch out, because if he
Yeah.
has an on game, there's nothing you can do. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's nothing I can say. But let's say outside of him. Right. Let's say outside of him. All right.
Pick one.
Jermon Wiggins.
Okay. That was one.
I'm going with Jermon Wiggins.
Come on.
I think
All
that
right.
front leg, if
Yeah.
the hip is still good, there's no reason for me to think it's not.
Right.
You know, but I think it's that thing. That thing is special. It is.
So I'm thinking, for me, it's just I love watching Abeda. You know, his just his timing, his strategy, his smarts, the way he fights, and just his heart. You know what I mean? He's one of the best teammates to have. I mean, barring him. So you see that in himself when he does that. So he's awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing Terry Floyd back competing as well. So excited to see what he does this year.
Dude, the Floyds are giants. You stood next to him?
They're big.
They're 19 feet tall. Holy crap.
All right, for the female fighters, who are some names? So here's some names. The Diamond winner, Ashley Floyd, who we just were talking about Floyd. So Ashley Floyd, she's an amazing fighter. She kind of really, like, I knew her more of as a form person growing up, right? Her and I are the same age. She was more of a forms person growing up, and she really has just turned it on as a fighter. So yeah.
Timeout.
Kayla, yeah.
Kayla Mejia?
Yeah.
She's 30?
30 plus, yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Well, we also got Melanie Ortiz, who won both. Amazing fighter.
Never mind.
We have Melanie Strauss, who has done a great job, and she wins grands in forms, weapons, and fighting for the 30 plus. Laura Leclerc does she's more in the forms, I think, but I think she does do the fighting as well. Yeah. And we don't know when Casey's going to show up. So when Casey Nash shows up, it could be, anything. I don't know what Rasha's doing. I don't know if she's competing right now, but the last that we saw her, she was really pushing it, and doing a great job.
Do you see this?
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
Kayla fought Casey in Toronto.
I need to find that and watch that fight.
I need video on this.
Video,
who won?
Yeah, footage. Yep.
Who won at least? At least tell us the end result.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. That sounds like a great fight.
Kayla Mejia is of great talent. I think
right.
I think in 2019 we were looking at like, all right, Kayla Mejia, could she be the real deal? I think the questions we were asking is there anybody who could stop Morgan?
Right.
And we thought, hey, you know what? I think maybe Kayla can, right? Mm-hmm. But then that happened, and then there was some time away. There was so many people that happened to, and they're like, why am I going to come back?
Right.
So we get it. But hey, it's been a couple of years. Now we're back. We got a resurgence. So seeing Kayla fight in the seniors would be awesome.
Seeing her. So that division, her, Casey, Gina's going to be competing some, I think, this year. Gina Thornton. So,
but you mentioned Mel Ortiz. I think the thing that Mel Ortiz has on all of them is I don't think Mel Ortiz has ever been inactive, really. Right?
True. She stayed.
So I think with all of them, they all have championship pedigree. Casey probably the most, right? So I think if they all line up, I think Casey could look at him and be like, you guys are competing for second, and some of them might go, yeah, we might be, right?
Yeah.
Gina the same. She's got a lot of championship pedigree, but I think Mel, she's just there's just something to be said for if you just never stop and you're always on it. It's hard to keep up. You know what I mean? It's hard to stay with that all the time and never really let up. That's why people take breaks and like, oh, I'll take a break and come back, because it's taxing on your body. Who am I talking to? You know, right?
Yeah.
It's taxing on your body to just not take a month off, right? Have you ever taken a month off of martial arts voluntarily?
Voluntarily? No.
Exactly. I had to say voluntarily because sometimes we injure ourselves and we're forced into it.
Surgery, yeah, no, yeah. But not voluntary, no. Maybe a week voluntarily, that's it. Not a month.
Yeah.
Another one is Mouse. Mouse is fighting in both the 18 plus and 30 plus.
Yep.
And she's doing a great job. She's won some senior grands as well. So it's going to be, you know, an exciting year for that too. I hope that we get to see, you know, those competitors get to have more exposure as well. I remember last year, you know, Dee Everett won the senior grand at the AKA. So she went against her daughter, you know, as one of the runoffs to get to the grand. So
I think what we're gonna see with that is I think we're gonna probably see like certain tournaments that there's gonna be different people showing up for that. Like I could just see Capital Classics being a pretty big one, where just like there's just gonna be some people locally, right, who are extremely talented that just really don't have time in their life to get to the New England Open that's going to happen this year. It's not going to happen this year. I heard it was going to happen.
No.
Let's speak it into existence, Joe.
Yeah.
We've been guilty of that in the past. All right.
All right. So if you had some more fighters, guys, I know, and again, like I said, we've gotten some messages from people, oh, we don't give the 50 or 60 plus. I'm sorry, we're not around enough to see. So put their names out there and let's show them some love, and maybe we will find a video and put it up. So,
and you know what? The 50 plus winner, the 40 plus winner, even the 60 plus winner, they're not doing it for prize money, guys.
Oh, they enjoy it. Oh, there's one too that is watching our show. Willie Marshall, man, every tournament in the South, he's winning the grand. He's winning the senior grand. And he always is one of the first ones to comment. And yeah, Murphy, he's going to do a 30 plus, like set fight, bracket, eight fighters, for his finals. So it's going to be a lot of fun there.
That'll be cool.
You know, Daryl Carter would be one on there. He's another one that's going to be fighting in VFT. He's going to be fighting that. He's in that. He just turned 31. He's really new to that. So there's a lot of great guys, man. So, and females. So, let's get into
higher inside scoop to get down there. I'm telling you.
I know.
All right, we should really do the AKA finals. You and I. That should happen.
I know.
Tell me that wouldn't be the greatest one ever. I'm just saying, because there's no Jackson Rudolph this year, man.
I know.
Shout out to Jackson Rudolph.
All right,
man,
so
that's a bummer.
The top 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus weapons, male, female. And let's stick with like weapons in mind. You know what I mean? There's some that do all of it, but I look at them more as a really solid forms competitor. But maybe this year they're going to be great in weapons. You know, we got to start with Sam Diaz. You know, Sam Diaz has been strong in his weapons, especially in the senior category. He does 18 plus as well. I'm loving some of the names I'm seeing here, man.
Now, you guys are spitting out some awesome ones.
Marty Knight, Joey Shiflett, Bernard Frost, all of them are still out there killing it. Great. Yes, that's right. Can't do it if Jeff is on stage. I will find a way to do it. I will talk.
Of course he would.
So.
You kidding me? Jeff would come back. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. I know I just killed it and won the Warrior Cup, but I'm not going to leave you guys high and dry. It's okay. Here I am. All right.
Listen, I had to do that once at Super Grands. Okay, I had to go and like compete, coach, and be on the microphone. Like, dude, no.
Let's be
And
honest. If you won the Warrior Cup and you and I were doing the finals, I would be so loudmouthed you wouldn't even be able to get a word in.
oh, that's true. That's true. All right, so weapons, yes. Sam Diaz, Eric Tremblay, always in there doing an awesome job with the sword. This year was cool to see him switch up the weapon a little bit, but he said, "All right, that was fun. I'm focusing on my sword though." Like at battle, he did like
cool.
But he's always one that's battling for it. Drew is always one for that weapons. This is for all of it, traditional, open, whatever, Doug. All right. Let's see some other competitors. Edgar retired. I think Edgar's still going to do a tournament or two. I just know it. There's another one guy with the oar, Ray Kellison. Awesome, man. And he will. His video right now is getting a lot of positive feedback on PF, which a lot of them don't. And he's just solid, man. He takes his time and shows the true technique in each thing. He doesn't rush anything. So,
dude, Ray Kellison was so awesome in 2021. I drafted him on my fantasy sport karate team,
and
which would have been great, but I don't think Ray was as active.
No, he went to 2 tournaments.
Thanks, Ray. This is another example of how on paper my team was amazing, but then people just decided that I don't want to do karate this year.
Another one. So Andrew does weapons. Kevin Kowalczyk has done an awesome job in his weapons as well. I see him though as like a solid forms guy. I think this year maybe he's going to take it up the next.
Praising the show. That's all right, brother. Don't worry about it. I still draft you again. Just let me know that you're going to compete.
Awesome, Doug. I'm glad. I can't wait to see it, man. I got our new creative bow ready.
Well, there's one guy that I think for weapons in the 30 plus is above everyone else.
Okay.
That's Mike Welch.
Okay.
Is Mike Welch going to compete again, Mike? Come on, man. You got yourself one of the greatest demo team ever assembled, right? You got a fantastic crew.
Yeah.
I know you're active. You probably just got done tricking. Just get out there, man. Grab the bow, whip it around, make our job drop.
All right. So there's 2 for me.
So I'll draft you on my team.
There's 2 for me that when they show up, they win. And I hope that I see them this year more. And that's Tim Conkle and Daryl Lewis. So both NBL legends, both 2 of my best friends in the sport, both that have went to battle and won, and then went to US Open and won and just looked amazing. So that division.
Andrew's saying.
Exactly. I mean, crazy. I mean, that division's nuts, right? So, and then you add in myself in there, you add in Joseph Bine, you add in Kevin Kowalczyk, you add in Eric Tremblay for musical, you add in, I mean, that's just a stacked division, right?
Did your weapons division that I was watching, it's a nail biter.
Yeah.
So let's look at the ones that, and there's obviously tons more, but some of the ones that I've looked at, it's been you, it's been Sam Diaz, Kowalczyk.
Yeah.
Right.
One of us.
Yeah. We'll land on one. Eric Tremblay. That's
Edgar last year.
Edgar Cordova.
Yeah. Right? And then Ray Kellison. Like that was the grand at Diamonds. Like that's a epic. I mean, it's just crazy, right? So
you know what's fun about that? What's fun about that is you look at that and go, all right, I could see which one's my favorite. I could see which one I think is best, but I can't guarantee how anything is going to turn out.
Correct.
And that's what's really cool about that, Yeah. So, and that kind of makes it more exciting.
I'm sure there's some other ones, and maybe some people that are moving up that we aren't even thinking about, But and then I know for the Terry Kramer is always up there. There's a lot of other ones that maybe I'm not even like remembering right now, or some that are coming back,
Sure.
So all right, for the females,
here's another one that came back for a cup of coffee, kind of threatened to come back, which was Mike Gorelli.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm seeing, and hopefully he shows up this year, Cato had told me he was coming back.
Cato.
Cato. So hopefully Rhode Island, we will see him compete. So that would be kind of.
We did talk about that.
That's the other one. Nick Kane is the other person that's 30 now. Yeah, he's 30 years old. So that division right there, if all of us are in that division, that's 8 people. Any of us could win, right? That's a crazy one. So
wait a minute, time out. So Nick Kane is turning 30.
He turned 30 like right before
Nick Kane just turned 30.
Yeah.
Ryan George just turned 30.
Yeah.
What's funny to me is it's a perception thing.
Yeah.
Is Ryan George is still 26 to me in my head.
Yeah.
And when you say Nick Kane, I'm like
21 to me. So.
When you say Nick Kane, I'm like, didn't he turn 30 like 3 years ago? That's what pops in my head. I don't know why I thought he was already there. All right. Sorry, Nick. Don't mean to down. But hey, 30 years, when you get 30, you're a lot more distinguished.
Nick's still 18 to me. Yeah. Nick's still like
Andrew's saying he's 15. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly. I say 18 because we competed a lot against each other when he first moved up to adult, like all the time, every freaking tournament.
There he is. My bad, Nick. My bad. I'm just saying you're more distinguished now, my friend. All right.
Distinguished. Oh man. All right. Females. So Laura Leclerc does a great job with her nunchuck. Melanie Strauss again has done a great job. Casey. What's cool about the females in the 30 plus? They do everything. They do forms, weapons, fighting, all of it. It's really cool to see that part, right? Ashley Lane made kind of a comeback last year. Hopefully, back competing. Alex.
Joe, wait. I'm already 40, Joe. I'm long past that.
Yeah. Yes, Casey. I mean, just amazing to watch her compete. So I'm trying to think some other ones, share some other ones, guys. The lady from Competitive Edge, I cannot think of her name right now. But she does the sword and does a great job. She's won several.
How about who we saw, come out for a cup of coffee at the Diamonds, who threatened to maybe do a couple others, was Alex Stodgy.
Yeah, Alex Stodgy. Yep, doing weapons and forms and fighting. So yes, Amy Williams. Yeah. That's the one. Amy Williams, great competitor.
And when you said once you're hitting like 30s and 40s and into 50s, like they just do everything. It's because at that point, it almost is the most truest form of martial arts for us at that point, because
exactly
we don't particularly care about the prize money. We would enjoy the prize money. It's deserved if you're the one winning, right? But whether it's $300 or $400 or $500, we're probably still going to go because we already have we're not dependent on that, right? Just don't be a dick about it, right?
Right. Don't over. Yeah.
Right.
True.
But since we're already there, we've got kids, we've got students there. We're just there to enjoy martial arts, enjoy the camaraderie. So don't screw it up for us and be a jerk about it. Sorry, I said the other word earlier. Right? So,
all right.
Yeah.
Let's get into the forms. All right. Last year, weapons and forms, Joey Castro killed it, right? Who knows what he's going to do this year? I'm sure he'll compete some. He says, I think that's it. That's it for me. Yeah, we'll see. All right. We've all said that plenty of times and it doesn't happen. All right. So
Joey Castro needs a farewell tour.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
I think once you've reached kind of that level, I think a farewell tour is not a bad idea.
Right.
The only problem is if everybody starts doing it
at the same time,
then you're like, yeah, all right, it's your last tournament.
Yeah.
It's your last Battle of Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah, you just kind of
gonna go get coffee.
Yeah.
So then it becomes something. But I think once you get to that point, you really should. All right. I think. Can you imagine if Jody Tension would have done a farewell tour? Now, I don't think he knew when his last time was going to be. I think he kind of knew.
I think he kind of did. He did that.
I think he kind of knew midway through that year that, like, I'm probably done. I have no knowledge of that.
I just feel like that was his filler. It was kind of like that, what, 2012, 2013 kind of
I
range,
think it was 13.
yeah, where you just kind of like, I'm just going, I'm having fun, I'm doing this, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So
But picture this, all right? It's 2013. 2012, I think Jotty Tension won the WKC World Championships, right? He had just started the Team Impex thing. It had just started. So now 2013, new Impex uniforms, everything. And everybody's like, ooh, man, look at this new Impex thing. And then it's like, by the way, this is Jotty Tension's last tournament. So every tournament you see Jotty Tension at this year, this is the last time he's competing at that event.
Right. Yeah.
If I was running a tournament and I knew this is Jotty Tension's last year,
be a big deal.
I'm comping Jotty Tension.
I mean, that's what other sports do, and
Exactly.
that's the thing we could copy from. All right. Yeah. Andrew says 30 is Joey, Sam, Kevin, me, Corey. 40 would be himself, Eric, Ramon, Edgar, Tracy. Also, Ramel Gargoles is someone who wins 40
Yeah.
a lot. He's a great competitor. He can win 40 or 30. Let's see. I'm sure there's
a whip chain too.
Chad Cannon, he was doing forms, and when he does, he wins his division. He's focused more on fighting. That was another one that I didn't. I forgot to put his name down, but yeah, Chad Cannon's a great competitor.
He's another guy who's clearly in like his mid 30s, but if you told me he was 27, you'd be like,
yeah, all right, yeah, exactly. Are we going to see Willie back? I don't know. But yeah, Ramel should be an AKA, and we'll probably do 40 plus. Who are some other ones for forms, guys, that we'd like to see compete more or feel like they're going to have a big year? I mean,
well, I think maybe not just the people, but maybe the performances. So, like you mentioned earlier, like what is Joey Castro going to do? Right? Is Joey Castro going to come out with a completely different type of performance than we're used to seeing? Maybe. All right. If he's saying this is his last year, yeah, maybe we see something different. Maybe he goes out and goes gutsy with it and tries something we've never seen that I can't even think of. Right.
It's going
50 plus, a battle between Ray and Drew. That would be awesome. All right. Both of them are in the chats. You guys going to be at AKA? Let's see that one go down next weekend. So, but again, so since we're speaking of performances, like what are we going to see? Listen, I've been the one saying it. I think Moon Moo done at the finals in the Diamonds was a massive moment. Yeah, I would be willing to bet by the time this year is up, somebody tries that form.
Probably so.
I think somebody gives that form a shot, and I think because you did it,
probably more likely a junior. But yeah,
I think you're probably right.
Yeah,
because I can pull that off.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah, I have some that want to do it, but I don't know.
But DDB, are you going to be competing at all this year?
I think so. He said he was.
Yeah, but he's just not going to be in Chicago.
Yeah, right. He had some other things going on. I remember him telling us that when he was on.
These guys should coordinate with each other.
Yeah.
You're going to Rhode Island? You're going to Rhode Island? I'll be there. You're going to be there?
Well, it's just I feel like it's going to be a great start to the year with that. Some events that have amazing senior competitors and competition is Battle of Atlanta, U.S. Open, especially in the forms of weapons, were really big. And one where there's a lot of different competitors is Ocean State, because that New England area is a different area, and so it's going to be really cool. Huh?
You read my mind. Yeah. That is exactly where I was going to go.
Right. So I'm excited about that. Also, guys, senior competitors, go out to the Arctic Challenge. We're going to be covering that event this year. Again, it's going to be the week after. So we only got 2 weeks. So until Arctic Challenge. So make sure you guys go out and support that event. All right. What about senior teams? What about senior fighting, right? Fighting teams.
So
the top teams really last year, ATL and Legend. Yeah. Those are the ones that I really saw that won most of the events, right? Solid team. I mean, you got Jamad, you got Willie Marshall, and who was the other one? When Jamad, if he moves up, when he moves up to 40, you'll have Trey, Jamad, and Willie. You also have Ernest on there as well.
Yeah, I think Juman might already be 40. I don't know if he's fighting there.
I know him and I are like I think we're almost
might be. I don't want to say someone's age once I start advancing them.
In the middle of the year though. But yeah, battle in the open, we're stacked. Awesome. Andrew's going to be at the Arctic Challenge. That's great. Yeah, Legend is just an amazing team. They have, Yoskar and so many great competitors that they can put out there for that. So I hope to see the senior teams kind of get picked back up,
when the senior teams thing started, probably 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It was by Executive Edge. Lee Ireland came out with it. He had a big thing. It was a cool thing that he did at the time. And I got to tell you, it stuck, Lee, right?
Yep.
That was him. Let's give shout out to Lee Ireland because this whole thing for the senior teams, it does not happen without him. Tournaments didn't think it was going to be anything. He said, don't worry about it. I'll make sure it's going to happen. And it happened, and everybody wanted to do it, and it was really cool. Because at that time, it was like the mentality like, the men's teams, like that's the thing. But the 30, what's your 30? It's like, what are you going to do? You're 30, right?
Then
Lee changed that viewpoint.
Yep.
Because then there was guys who were like, I'm 30. Let me go clean house because I'm good and I'm 30. Now, anybody who was good and they were 30, it was like, oh shit, you're here too? You're here? Dude, I remember when I was doing the senior teams and I'm looking around and there's like Willie Hicks, Josh Harwich, Kodak Ray, me, and a few other guys. And I'm like, shit, this is the same. This is the same thing one ring over.
Right.
Yeah. So,
like,
but it's challenging because you got to have a 30-year-old guy on your team. You got to have a 40-year-old guy on your team. And you got to have a 50-year-old guy on your team.
That part's a little hard, but I also like it though. It's good too.
Finding the 50-year-old guy is the challenge. So you got someone who's really good in their 50s, probably gonna win. Right. Here's what I'll say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have no inside knowledge, none. Right. But if Larry Tankston is putting together a team with TAC, Tankston Academy Chicago, watch out.
Yeah.
Right? That's a team. That's a team.
So who, because Dewan isn't, so it would be Dewan, Jason.
It'd probably be
Larry. I just want to see that.
No.
It should be. Or
it would probably be Dewan. And then there's this other guy. Oh man, he's blanking right now. His name's Rob. This guy's name's Rob. I'm blanking on his last name. This dude Rob. He's got the coolest mustache, right? Look, and it'd probably be Larry, right? But no, obviously, if Tank is there,
30+ team just of their family.
They could, right? If they did, I don't know. Is Larry Jr.? Is he 30?
I don't know how old he is, but Leroyce could do it.
There you go. Then I know I haven't seen Royce.
That would be cool.
That would be cool if it was Royce, Tank, and Larry.
Clouden somehow could do it.
We should just will that and
make it all happen.
Just for the picture.
All right. So what's funny is that when you're talking about the senior teams, and that was a big thing that was happening on NASCA at the same time in NBL, almost the exact same time, 2010, I think was the first year, was mixed teams. All right. And so mixed teams, we've heard of mixed doubles, but mixed teams, like, we're going to do one 18-year-old male, one 18-year-old female, and one 35 plus, because that's the division. That's what a senior was, NBL, male fighter. And it was great because you could say, you know what? I may not have 3 of all these or 2 of all these, but I can get one of each of these and create a team and sponsor it, right? The first, maybe it wasn't the first year, but in 2013 in Charleston, there was the exact same amount of teams for mixed teams as there was for men's. It was like 15, you know,
That's wild. That's
and it
cool.
was just awesome, man. It was just they were just killing it. Some
So only
amazing.
because you're Jeffopedia and you probably already have the information, you were probably about to say it. Who won that?
That one
Mixed
was a velocity team, I believe. Murphy had that, and I'm trying to remember who all exactly was on that team because it was kind of a mix. I think, oh man, I because there were so many different people there that I like haven't seen at a Super Grands before. It was so wild, but I know Murphy sponsored that team, and I want to say like Gino, but I think it might have been like Raylan was a part of that team,
Really?
but Robin LaBeouf was also there too. Like it was just a awesome Super Grands with so many great competitors. And then let's see, 2011 was a really cool team. 2011 that won, they beat the proper team. It was the all-star team. It was Raymond, Colby, and Carlos. So that was just like an epic team. Like I don't want to mess with that team. When I see that team, like yeah, okay, forget that. That was like the dominant team domination, right?
What?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think Jeremy didn't compete at that Super Grands. I don't believe, and it wasn't Ramon, but yeah,
And listen, and since you mentioned Colby, and we mentioned like how dominant the Northcuts,
yeah,
were and have been in their sport karate career. They have more world titles than the rest of the earth. But really, if she got going and she had space,
yeah, right, right,
like it's kind of over,
yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, you've got Carlos Tierney coming up next. Oh, by the way, Raymond
Raymond,
Daniels is cleaning it out. Like,
it was wild. Yeah, yeah,
it's
it
all
was.
right. Just go out
Yeah,
there and get
'cause
some reps.
the proper team was a good one too. It had, Troy Whaley, who's a great fighter, crafty, can fight anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember that year. I don't think it was Jarek. Jerica might have been that year. The year before it was Jocelyn, and then Leon Jefferson was one. So
Yeah.
that's
So
a
that
great
one,
team.
so that
Yeah,
one's perfect to have Troy with
right,
Carlos.
right.
And maybe he could get in there. Carlos, man, you get him with enough space too. It's the same problem,
Yeah, yeah,
only with heavyweight power behind it.
correct. And then I think one year it was Ali, Willie Hicks, and Luis. They were a team and won. Luis Jimenez. And then one year it was Emma Levy and her dad with Anthony Merricks.
She's so good.
So yeah, so it was pretty cool. There's a lot of good teams that were a part of it that have won. So yeah, Troy is so fast. You're right, Drew. And so yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think this would be a really cool one to bring to the NASCAR circuit, honestly.
So I think it would be cool also. I think you'd be just like you mentioned, we'll be able to fill more teams
Correct.
that way, probably than the men's senior team, right?
Right.
You'll
Oh
be
yeah.
able to fill more because you just need one guy, doesn't matter the weight,
Correct.
one woman, doesn't matter the weight, right? Or the age, just doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Because it doesn't matter to it doesn't have to be 18 plus or 30 plus. It's just a man, right? And a woman, right?
I
Oh,
mean,
no, it does.
Yeah, it
18, but under 34.
Yeah, that was the way we did it. I know in NASCAR it'd be kind of weird to be like 35 when that's not really a division in NASCAR, So 30 up to me is a little. I would say do a 40, just 40 and up, maybe just to make it a little different,
Yeah, how will we do that?
But I don't know.
Create it right now. Let's brainstorm right now and create it.
What would be best? Because again, I mean, like imagine, like say, everybody could have a team like that, right? You do that. You have a 40. So USA, top 10 USA, their 40 plus fighter would be Ojava. They have an 18 with Ty. They have Tahira as their female. Boom, there's 3 right there, right?
That's a great team.
You have
Could Straight Up have one? They've always got straight up is always because they got people that you just haven't seen.
You haven't seen, yeah, they
They
can
got
make
people you just haven't seen, and they're probably
Legend.
really good.
Legend obviously has it. Um,
Legend is the same.
yes, with Beatrice as their female, and you could have Christian, and then you could have Oscar as one team. You could have the other Oscar. I mean, you have so many that you could put with
Legend
that.
can field a couple teams.
Yeah, they could field about 4 teams of that. So that would be cool to see, right? Diamond G3 would be a great one with Mel, with Brayon or whoever. If you wanted to do a 40, I think they have someone there too. So yeah. So I mean, it's pretty exciting. One person we didn't mention, and we just never know if he's really fighting anymore, and that's Jeremy Roque, man. That dude, I love watching Jeremy Roque fight. And I mean, he's, like 1 year, he was the only person to beat Yoskar,
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We were watching what tournament was that? That we were watching the live show?
North Georgia Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was last year, right?
It
was last year, I think.
I think it was the year before actually that he did that.
It was 21?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So
felt like yesterday.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, whatever way they want to do it. I mean, I guess people could fill more teams if it was 30 plus, but I just think it's a cool way to again, if you do 30 plus, it may hinder some of the 50 plus to want to do it. You know what I mean? Or 40 plus, but I don't know. I think it's a fight. So,
I mean, I really think we should I say we, right? Yeah. It's the only circuit out there, really. It starts and ends with NASCA. So let's just go with that. I think it should be looked at to be changed with the age divisions, 18 to 34. Well, we want to go 18 plus, 35 plus, really should be
45
considered. And then I think you want to go like 42 plus or 40 plus.
42 is pretty good, and then you go 50 plus after that.
42 plus and 50 plus.
48, I think, is what they do in WKU and WKC. I think it's 48. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I think it's 42, 48. Yeah.
42, 48.
Yeah. I mean, and then you have a 55 and up or a 60. I mean, whatever way you want to do that. But yeah, that's the WKU breakdowns. Yeah, I'm not sure what WKC is. I know they have 2 40 plus divisions, like a 42 and a 48, I believe. So, yeah. Well, guys, we had a great show. What do you anybody else that you just feel like, hey, this is going to be, 30.
There's been a bunch over the years, but I think we're not focused on the past right now. We're focused on the present and the future. We're moving forward, my friends. So it was really good to really kind of get that insight to start to look at, like, all right, who's going to be in these divisions now? Who's stepping up to the 30s? What are we going to do with that? That's why it still blows my mind that, like,
Ryan, all those
Ryan
guys.
George is going to be there. That's cool.
Hey, guys, come cheer us on at 8 a.m. at AKA. Okay, all right. What are you doing?
Okay, I got a question.
All right. Morning and fighting. So,
what's your preference as far as the competition time? Is your preference to say, you know what, 8 a.m., or is your preference like 1 p.m., 2 p.m.?
I still like, for me, like competing, I like at 12 p.m., but that's when I'm doing, both. So I'm fine with the 8 a.m. and then I compete later on. But a lot of times that doesn't happen because then they want to run the grands right after. And then that leads right into my regular division, then right into the runoff. So I'm just competing that whole time. So it's not really like I get a break, you know what I mean? But that's because I do, 18 plus and 30 plus and eventually 40 plus. Well, maybe. I don't know if I'll do 40 plus, but we'll see.
Andrew's saying 8 a.m. And you know what?
He likes that.
I kind of agree with him, though.
It's not bad, but none of these guys are kickers, okay? Trying to get warmed up.
Well, that's where I was going to go with, Jeff, right? When my hips were what my hips used to be, I actually still liked the 8 a.m. because I knew the more time in the day I spent, because the more time that comes on, I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to be doing more. And eventually, it's like the video game life bar. Right?
You're right.
I only have so much of like karate rep time that I have to be able to do. Right? So the more time I have, I'm just gonna start to like, I can't go eat a mushroom, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm Super Mario, right? It's not
Yeah.
gonna happen,
That's
right?
true. Yeah, I don't mind it.
The fighters fighting around 9:30 to 10. No, that's madness. That needs to end. And the reason why there's a difference for me in doing your form at 8
I love
a.m.
9 a.m., Eric, I agree.
fighting at 9. The reason why I think is the mentality. Personally, I feel it's easier for me to dial in and focus and tune things out. Thing that I have to do that is only involving me, right? This performance that I have to do, all right? But when I need to dissect and I need every bit of my brain cells and I need to dissect everything like I'm the freaking Terminator, I need a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
So 10 o'clock, 10:30, I think I'm okay with,
Yeah.
you know, but who am I? I got no crystal ball. You know
I guess it's just different when for years for, you know, when you turn 18, it's like you don't compete until noon. And then all of a sudden 8 a.m. like, whoa, before even the kids get up, it's a little different, but it makes sense for the way that it runs. It's smoother that way. I don't think everyone going at 12 works well, especially when we're trying to get people to do both, you know? But yeah, so.
I got to tell you about something that happened to me today.
All right.
And I know we got to wrap up, but listen to this. This is a funny thing. I was itching to tell you this. So, did I ever tell you that Lindsay and I are doing dance classes? Did I ever tell you that?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, and you told us about the class and everyone. Yeah.
So it's just the two of us, right? It's just one-on-one. So it's cool. So a few weeks back, now I have no clue what I'm doing, by the way. A few weeks back, right? This coach, and she's very good, right? I love her teaching style, her coaching style, right on with it, right? All right. So she goes, you guys are great. You guys could totally do a showcase. I'm like, what the frick is a showcase? Basically, it's an adult recital. And I'm like, you must be out of your mind, right? And she's like, why not? You're doing all this. And she's basically speaking to me like a karate instructor, right? To a kid who wants to do a karate tournament for the first time. She's like, you're doing all this stuff. You're learning all this. Why wouldn't you want to do it? And I'm like, once it was like a trigger for me. And I'm like, okay, because I've said that for like 30 years. Okay, go ahead. All right.
Yeah.
When is it? Okay, we're going to do it. So there's certain footsteps, Jeff, that are just so weird that they're so close to a martial art foot movement.
Yeah.
She like scolds me every time I do it. Right. So like when I step back, sometimes I step back like it's almost like I'm stepping into a front stance. She's like, why are you stepping back so big? I'm like, because that's what a freaking front stance is. Right. She's like, no, you just step back onto your heel. And I'm like, yeah, because that looks bouncy. Who does that? Right. Isn't that weird? All right.
Yeah. Both too. Oh man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we've had a great show. Lots of fun. Thank you guys for joining in. Share this one. Listen to it tomorrow. Share. And let's just get promoters talking about the 30+ competitors. And let's again prize money. More maybe just acknowledge them on stage. Also, guys, I know one thing is live streaming more of the 30+ and 40+ and female divisions. That's a big deal that I've seen a lot of complaints about on online. So let's do that as well.
All we want is just to be out there and to not be forgotten, right?
Yeah, have some fun.
The sport is continued by the sweat of our back. But don't cast us aside like we ain't got nothing, right? Come on now. So hey, if XYZ, page or entity is not live streaming it, let's group together and live stream ourselves. Okay.
Right. There we go.
Be fun. Hey, Arctic Challenge is this weekend, right?
No. That's the end. That's the week after.
Week after.
Yeah. Week after AKs. So the end of the month. Yep. So this weekend, I know John Chung is having his tournament on Sunday. So
cool. You gonna be there?
I won't be there. I have some things going on here, but yep. So yep, gonna be great.
Yes, I'm excited. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week, and then we will see you in Chicago.